Howdy, howdy, hey there, everyone. How you guys doing tonight? I don't have the music started yet because shit's not working on my side. Ah, there we go. It's finally up. Hey, look at that. It's still not good. The right channel. You know what? One thing I do love about the program that I use. What's up, Glenn? One of the lovely things about the program that I use, it just goes through the wrong channels all the time. It always starts in the wrong channel. I love the scroll screen music. I actually really like that music, and if it wasn't just like the same thing the whole time, I would put it on there. And funny enough, I have thought about just like splicing together like maybe 20 different songs that would be like tavern music in order to have playing in the background. Unfortunately, a lot of them just require like attributations and stuff like that, but I don't know, I've thought about it. Even getting in like the epic stuff that's on Pretzel has been a thought, but that is something that I have thought of, because there's like hour and a half, 3 hour long cozy tavern, and it's like I want to use it, but at the same time I also don't want to get like, you know, yeah, like I'm looking at this one right now that's from the Vault of Ambience, and it says any reproduction or reuse of this video is prohibited. So it's like, yeah, that's totally awesome. I get it. But I just wish I could get a hold of yeah, I'm tired. Today's been a long day. So yeah. Excuse me. Maybe one day I'll find some tavern music that we can play over some stuff. Oh, actually, look at this. All music from this channel are copyright free. You'll be able to monetize your content when... All right, hold on. We're gonna switch this up a bit. Oh yeah, Through the Walls by Sleepy Fish. All right, so I need to bring up a different program. It's gonna play through a different channel, so I actually have to alter this. All right, move that to there. Whew. Let's copy this, make sure we pause it on there. And we're just gonna go into here. Oh, there's some stuff, but there we go. That's exactly what I want. Now this is 3 hours worth. So, I mean, I guess it's one of those things where like I could always just start it randomly somewhere. Oh, there's Village. Oh, Village Ambience. Huh. Interesting. They actually have some really interesting music on here. Here we go. MIDI, wait, is that non-copyright or is that copyright? No, that's definitely copyright. It actually says whether it's copyright or not, which I appreciate so much. Here we go. Celtic medieval tavern music. Oh, sweet. So it's got like 26 minutes of content, and then it just repeats that. Sick. Absolutely sick. So this is what we got here in the tavern. This is what we're going to be rocking with. I like this. Actually, funny enough, this is what I when I'm just like working on D&D stuff in general, like whenever I'm prepping sessions and things like that, this is the music that I listen to, because I don't mind lo-fi music in general. Like it's good to chill with, as most of their names would imply, but I actually really like tavern music because I feel that it gets me in like a very fantasy facing mood. So ooh. Plus it just also reminds me of Skyrim, and if anything is related to Skyrim, I'm okay with that. So it looks like we got a couple different ones on here, so I'll probably get a couple of these rounded up for next time, and maybe just put them into a little playlist that I can start, because this is actually through Kenku, it's not even through Pretzel. So if I can cancel my subscription to Pretzel, I would, because that's just another couple bucks I don't need to spend. All right, cool. So yeah, Monday night, we're gonna be working on the Endyr Mega Dungeon. Tonight we're gonna be working on Sector 3. So let me go grab a thing of water, and then we'll get jumping into that. All right, and keeping a lid on that so I don't get a stink bug down the throat again. I still have nightmares about that. Oh boy, what a day. Okay, so on to Sector 3 of our Mega Dungeon. Now, just as a quick recap, I'm not going to go over every room, but just as a quick recap from the last 2 weeks of what the last 3 weeks of what we've been doing since the beginning of the year, we are building Endyr's Mega Dungeon. So 12 floors, 52 sectors, 365 rooms. Floor 1 being divvied up into 4 different sectors. The first sector being stars, a lot of stuff relating to constellations. The second sector being related to the cold, so a lot of ice. A lot of ice and stuff extinguishing flames, frozen chests. Yeah, I ate a stink bug. Yeah, I'll send you the clip. In one of my streams. It's the worst thing ever. I had a thing of liquid death sitting next to me that I was drinking, and at one point I go to drink, and I pause, and then I look into the can, and I can see the little like the two little antennae like poking up, so you can see me on stream like push him down in, and then I had to spit it back in there, and I put it in my trash can, and I was like pausing, but I was like, I just took a drink, and there was a stink bug in there, so I have to go wash my mouth out, and it was it was so awful. It tasted terrible, and I've just been thinking about it ever since. So yeah, trying not to do open containers. So I just have water in my my G Fuel, my Twitch G Fuel shaker, you know, the one I use specifically for when I'm streaming. But yeah, so like I said, the last sector was cold. First sector was pretty simple. It was stars. Each room has a permanent illusion, giving the look of an open night sky. The second sector, each room holds a temperature of -5 degrees each time someone enters a room, or for every hour within, a con save is made to stave off exhaustion. And this week's, we have darkness. This, I don't know why this one. So the way that this one works is in this sector, if you're listening to this, don't make a flavor called stink. Yeah, G Fuel oh God. Oh God, that'd be awful. That'd be like one of their one of their April Fool's ones. That's awful. So yeah, this one, like I said, this is darkness. So an innate magical darkness holds this sector of the dungeon. Those who can see through magical darkness are limited to a 10-foot range of dim light. Everyone else is blind. So this is the whole thing. It's I wanted this whole room, or I wanted this whole sector to really be an area where it would, like, it kind of forces, yeah, can still taste chili dog. Oh my God, yeah. So I wanted this sector to really kind of like wrangle the players into almost like a choke point, and give them a bit of a detriment if they're players that like to kind of like amble about and wander, because you're wandering just into pure darkness and you don't know what's out there. So the first room we have, what this is a room that steals light. As the players enter this room, any light source, magical or not, is siphoned into an incorporeal 5-foot orb that floats in the center of the room. The orb gives off 5 feet of bright light and 10 feet of dim light, and can be pushed but requires contact with a creature to move. I specifically put that in there so that it wasn't just like, you know, oh, we're using mage hand or something like that. I guess if you have a familiar, you could do that, but there are benefits to, you know, to not being, or there's definite cons to not being near the light. So what it is whenever somebody walks in this room, if you have any torches, any magical light, like the light spell or dancing lights, or even sunlight, all that gets siphoned into an orb, and that becomes like your point of contact. The second room is a split hallway. I actually kind of am envisioning it more of like essentially a cluster of 6 rooms that really only count as one. But what it is there's a wall down the center of it, and there's a series of holes in it, and whenever the light is on one side, the light shines through, goes through the holes on the other side, and that illuminates sections of the wall that then give clues to a puzzle. But the problem is that side that has the light is going to attract shadows. So there's one side trying to solve a puzzle in order to get into another section. Oh, thanks. BRB is still there. And so some of the players are going to have to be there fighting these shadow creatures, because in this whole section, like shadow creatures, like wraiths and specters and stuff like that, they're just going to be lousy, filled with them. And so the other, like, one side's having to do a puzzle, the other side is having to do combat, and then there's a point where you have to pass the orb through to the other side so that the other side can solve a puzzle on theirs. So it was kind of this thing of like, it is like a timed thing, because if the people on one side die, the light is left on that side and the other ones die in the darkness, basically. So on in the next room, so the next room I also kind of had envisioned of being like, actually when I first designed this was all gonna be like one room, but then I actually broke it up. So the first room, there is a sensor on the wall that can detect light. When it detects light, it has to be held there for 30 seconds, but then a door opens. So you have to survive essentially 5 rounds of combat. The next room, there is a bullseye lantern that you have to shine your lantern. So now the orb that you have had in like the last 2 or 3 rooms which was giving out this, and I might increase the range, I still haven't decided, but like you have this 5 feet of bright, 10 feet of dim light, so you're fighting things in the dark. Well, now, and that was all around, now you have it concentrated into a beam. So another thing is that there are going to be special shadows within each of these rooms. When you kill one of those shadows, it actually increases the range of the light by a foot. So once you kill 5 of them, the bright light now goes out to 10 and the dim light is now out to 15. So there's a few and far between, so it isn't like, can't really sit there and farm them. But yeah, so in this room, whenever you put the orb inside of this bullseye lantern, you can now shine it across this large opening. It does kind of benefit the party if they have someone that can fly, or if they had like a familiar that could fly or something like that, because technically in this room there would be nothing stopping someone from like flying it over, but it leaves everyone else in the dark, especially since the light has to be beaming on it for that amount of time, for that 30 seconds. And lastly, the third room in that little cluster, there is a small hole in the wall that the bullseye has to be pressed up against to, but at this point you have to get the light to where it is beaming out at least 30 feet of dim light in order for it to reach where you need it to. So this was kind of like this was, you know, more of the one that was going to be, you know, a lot of combat, but a lot of it in the dark. So you even, and here's the thing, you can cast a light spell, but a light spell will only last for a round. So if you cast dancing lights, you can create like however many orbs, and you'll be able to see where stuff is, and then it gets sucked into your orb by the end of the round. So that's going to be a thing. Room 20. When I was thinking about this sector of the dungeon, I kept thinking of darkness, and one of the things that I came up with was like, because I have now this bullseye lantern, I wanted to do one of those like classic, you have to rotate the mirrors to get a light beam to go across a room and hit a sensor. So with this one, you set the lantern inside of this concentrated focusing crystal, and what that does is it turns it into a laser beam. And that light, then there are going to be mirrors with like where you can rotate them, so the players will have to figure out in what orientation to rotate them. But because they don't have full view of the room at all times, they're gonna have to kind of like stumble through the dark and figure out where all of them are. Some of them you can turn, some of them you can't. All the while there's gonna be monsters attacking. So this is definitely gonna be a more difficult one. Room 21, a pillar that casts a magical shadow. So with this one, when the players enter this room, there is a lantern that is bolted to the ground, and the orb can be placed into it and it'll illuminate the whole room. So the thing is that the pillar has a magical cone of darkness that surrounds it, that covers one side of the room, and there's a riddle on the door that reads, "The pillar's shadow upon the door will light the way." The thing is that the darkness that is inside of this cone is pure magical. It cannot be dispelled, and there might be a threat within that you know, particular section. One of the monsters that I have considered for this sector of the dungeon is a black pudding, because oozes are silent in general, and they're also like very hard to see because they have that I forget what it's called. Let me see here. Black pudding. Not amorphous and not corrosive form. Hold on, let me see. Ooze. Eldritch ooze, gray ooze. No, I need a cube. I need gelatinous cube. What it transparent? Okay. So yeah, this is a little bit of it. So actually, funny enough, so I've been so careful not to talk about the website that I use a lot whenever I'm working on D&D stuff. I was watching a recent D&D Shorts video that he was talking about Wizards of the Coast and all the bullshit that they're doing. He straight up called the website I use out by name, and he has one of the biggest channels. I can only imagine this site is going to see so much traffic and get so much attention that at this point, I don't care. The website I use is called 5e.tools. I use a very specific mirror of it, which is adless, because if we look at the normal site, it will probably, yeah, I'll say it'll pop up an ad. Yeah, multiple ads, and when you go to stuff, there's ads. I use a mirror, and it doesn't have ads. So if you want that, reach out to me, because it's the better one to use. But yeah, I'm just not as, like, you know, secretive about it, because, hey, you know what? Right now, we need all the reference we can get. Black puddings are worse than typical oozes. So the thing about black puddings, they are fairly dangerous. So if we look at a normal, well, here, let's do it this way. So let's pop the black pudding out, and we'll close gelatinous cube back there. There we go. Gelatinous cube companion. What is that from? Oh, Beast Heart and the Monstrous. Okay, yeah. There's a little guy. Look at him. He's so cute. All right, so yeah. Gelatinous cubes are kind of like the more known ones. The other one would be like ochre jellies and stuff. So we'll pull up an ochre jelly as well. But yeah, so the thing is that when it comes to different oozes like this, black puddings are actually kind of up there with their you know, with their abilities. The main thing that makes them very dangerous is that the corrosive form. So a creature that touches or hits the pudding with a melee attack while within 5 feet takes 1d8 acid damage. Any non-magical weapon made of metal or wood that hits it corrodes. After dealing damage, it takes a permanent and cumulative -1 penalty to damage rolls. If its penalty drops to -5, it's destroyed. So it also can shoot stuff. If it hits your armor, you know, you're kind of screwed, because it's, you know, +5 to hit. It's gonna deal some bludgeoning damage here, but the thing is that it also deals 4d8 acid damage, and the armor, if you're wearing it, it starts to take penalties. So black puddings are terrifying, mostly for the fact that it can dissolve all of your stuff. On top of that, it's generally immune to most conditions. It's also immune to a slew of fairly common elements, as well as slashing damage. And in fact, if it is exposed to lightning or slashing damage, it splits into 2. So it's pretty dangerous. Ochre jellies have similar abilities. They just don't have nearly the same corrosive ability. And then gelatinous cubes are kind of the same thing. Their main thing is that they are transparent, which is actually why a lot of DMs will put them in dungeon hallways and like fill up a corridor. And that's one of the things that I haven't really touched on in a lot of my dungeons. I do intend on like, oh, there's a gelatinous cube in this corridor, or there's like a roving band of kobolds that you come across. Like whenever I start exploring other levels, wandering monsters are definitely going to be a major part of it. Dark dungeon is the dark dungeon is very deadly. So yeah, like I said, with this, the gelatinous cube kind of has the ability of engulf, which this combined with it, if you had like a black pudding cube or like a gelatinous black pudding, oh, dangerous and deadly. Yeah, so again, that was like I said, that was the pillar that casts a magical shadow. I actually found that online. That was a really cool puzzle that I found. There's a YouTuber who does puzzles. See if I can find him. D&D shadow puzzle. Probably. Yeah, here we are. It's called Wally DM. So if you are looking for puzzles, he actually does a lot of puzzles. So there's a ton of stuff in there if you're curious about looking up some D&D puzzles. He even has a book. I'm probably gonna get it when I get paid, so yeah, so definitely check him out, because that's where this came from. So something really cool. And oh yeah, another thing is the pillar has turnstiles. Has like turnstile spokes. So the main thing is that like no matter what the players do, the shadow won't move. They actually all have to turn the pillar in order to get it. So that's the whole thing. And then lastly, the final room, the like boss of this sector, is a shadow demon that turns the players' shadows upon them. So this is going to be a room where the light is sucked back out of the orb, and where it is only going to be a small little, 5 foot bright, 10 foot dim area once again, but having a clone of the player as their shadows attack them. There is actually a detached shadow. So this is basically what the concept is. I hate when I read it in Discord. It reminds my distaste of mirrors in the dark. Oh yeah. So detached shadows are really cool because there's certain things that can like rip your shadows away, and this is what you have to fight. So I really like this. It does kind of just work the same as a shadow. Actually, I think for the most part they're fairly identical. Is that the case? No, it's okay. So a normal shadow, the target dies if this reduces its strength to 0. Otherwise, the reduction lasts until they finish a short rest. If a non-evil, so if a good humanoid dies from the attack, a new shadow rises. Okay, whereas the detached is the target falls unconscious and the creature regains consciousness, and the reduction to its strength disappears after. Okay, so it's not nearly as damaging and not nearly as deadly. So, but yeah, that's been a fun one to explore, you know, this sector of darkness. And I'm kind of keeping with that, actually, as we go into the next one, which is obviously the one we'll work on next week. I actually am a day ahead on this one. But next week's is going to be Silence and Solitude. I wanted to work in Silence, because I did Darkness where it was, you know, blind, and now I wanted to do Silence, where everyone was deaf. And Solitude was something that I had originally planned with, but whenever I started doing Darkness, Silence really became very, you know, apt for me. So with this, Silence and Solitude, an innate magic holds this sector in complete silence. All players are deafened while within here. So this one, the way that it works is there's a large central room, and there are rooms that branch off from there. And the players can see one another, but they have... You didn't roll. No, yeah, I started making some of the choices. Like, my next whole floor, I already have, like, the things picked out in my head. I didn't roll for those. Yeah, with this Silence and Solitude, basically, the players are kind of separated. They each have to solve a puzzle, and that puzzle will give them a clue. It'll give them two things. It'll give them a clue of how someone else has to get out of their room, and it gives them a tile. So there's 5 tiles, and the tiles have to be placed within a door that unlocks that door. But like I said, when people solve the puzzle in their room, they're going to get the tile, and that is then going to give them a clue of how somebody else has to get out of their room. So they then have to figure out who has the room, you know, who's in what room and what that clue means in order to get somebody else out so that they can then get everybody out. And honestly, with this one, I am just going to probably pull a bunch of crazy puzzles. And if I actually ran this, I generally don't advise this as a DM, you know, in general, of like separating your players one by one and making them do stuff like by themselves. But I believe doing this is definitely something where I would want something like that, because it's very specifically designed for that. So yeah, like I said, we are going to be working on the Darkness sector today. So here we go. We got everything else that we had. So we're going to grab sector 2 up here. Let's go ahead and that there. Sector 3. Let's ungroup that. Sector 1, stars. Sector 2, cold. And Sector 3, darkness. All right. So, like I said, this first room is honestly not, most of these rooms aren't really going to be crazy, like, you know, ornate like these ones where they had like the craggy sides, because I wanted this to be more like a glacier. They are going to be more simple like these rooms, but probably not as decorated. I'm not going to include a ton of huge detail in them just because most of the rooms are going to be just like in the dark. So I guess with this one, we'll just start off with simple, like 7x7 room. And we'll put the fire, we'll put the orb right in the middle, put a little brazier in there. So up next we have the split hallway. Now this one, I don't want it to be too thin, so but I also want that wall in the middle, so we'd probably do 5x12. That'd be about 60 feet long. I think that's about fine. And then we'll add a wall down the center. And so something I had the thought of was like whoever like gets into the rooms, this hallway first, there's gonna be a door that locks. Did this thing just freeze on me? No, okay. So about halfway down, God damn it. So about halfway down, there's going to be a door. And whatever side walks in first, their door is going to be locked. So, or whoever has the orb first, you know, their side is going to be locked. So the players actually have to solve a puzzle on, you know, the south side in order to unlock the door on the north. Then they have to pass the orb back through, and then they have to solve a puzzle. They'll have to, you know, do something over here. Maybe there's like a lever or, you know, something that they have to turn, maybe like a turnstile, and maybe that will open up the other door. And so this way, why is that going on like force? Huh. But then this way, when the players get into there, as they are, you know, as they're trying to do this, like, you're constantly keeping one side a little bit in the weight. All right, so now we have the big one. So like I said, this one I kind of had envisioned as one big room that I've kind of split up in my head. So I'm probably going to do 15x5, and I'm going to split each one of these up into a 5x5. And then we're going to grab this, and I'm just going to put this out maybe about to here. So it's far enough that, yeah, so this is going to be far enough that nobody can jump this, because that's 15 feet. So you won't really be able to jump that. So that will, yeah, actually somebody probably could jump that. That's fine. You know what? Honestly, if somebody could jump it, but no, let's move it back. There we go. This way it's a little bit, you know, more of a challenge. Somebody just can't jump over to there. But there's gonna be a little sensor. Like I said, that's kind of the whole thing about this one, and honestly, I like the look of this. I'm gonna reuse that. Use that as a little sensor in the wall. Maybe rotate it so it doesn't have that arrow. There we go. That's nice. And with this one, this is the one that's going to have that small pinhole. So let's grab something like the polygon, and we'll just add a little triangle there. Kind of the same thing. We're going to place this all the way back in there. So this little tiny sensor that in order to reach, and it's, I mean, this is just more for reference. They have to shine that bullseye lantern into there. Oh, nope. Didn't mean to erase. You know what? Actually, just had a thought. If I change that to 4. There we go. Tiny little hole. Cool. All right. I think that looks all right. Gets the point across. Yeah, let me move these up. Nah, they're fine. They're fine. So what's my next one? Okay. This is the mirrors have to be adjusted one. Now, I'm not going to lie. This one I did have to pre-plan. So I had to sit with this one for a little bit because I had to figure out how this one was going to be laid out well in advance, so that it was actually a workable puzzle. So let me move this up because I want a flat area here to work with. I seriously put that on like a half space. Can I just say I'm really happy I chose to find this non-copywritten music. Definitely put me in more of a fantasy mood. All right. So, like I said, I actually have this room kind of pre-planned out over on the side, so give me a second to look at this. How big is that? Okay, so it's... (19 by 11). All right, so I have all the pieces in mind of like what I need. So just give me 1 second. I'll kind of walk. I'll walk everyone through the concept. So if you don't know what the design of these is, basically, there is going to be a laser. There's going to be a focusing crystal that the orb can be placed in right here. Maybe we'll put a little small pillar to denote that. So you can place the orb in there. That's going to turn it into a laser beam. Now this over here is going to be the sensor that it needs to hit. That is obviously just a straight line there, so we have to kind of make things move around a little bit more. Now, I really wish, whenever I was first building this, that I had something that didn't have an X across it. I actually just wanted like a single angle. I did not find anything when I looked through it, which kind of sucks because I don't want this to give the impression that it's like a two-way mirror. But that's really the only thing I have to work with. So it is kind of a... Well, wait, maybe I could do this. No, that's big. Hold on. What about this? Rock wall. Yeah. I think I'll keep it the way that I have it. What is that? Oh, no. Yeah, because unfortunately this one doesn't give the best look, but I will kind of have a way of denoting it. All right, so this one's gonna go there. Right there, there's gonna be one above it. Yeah, for this, I need whole steps. All right, there's gonna be one there. There's gonna be one there. One at the top. One here. Here. And there. There's gonna be another one here. One, 2 spaces away from there. Another one there, and one here. Another here. One that goes there. And one that goes there. So those are all of our mirrors. Now, the way that I had it denoted on my side is with this little illusory wall. The ones that the players can actually move and manipulate. So this is going to show that the players can actually move these ones, where they have to push these turnstiles to get them to rotate. That's kind of the whole idea. Yeah, it is actually like the layout of mirrors, but the thing is that I'm gonna throw a couple in there that are just gonna be teases. And on top of that, there's also going to be walls that split stuff up and make them a little bit more difficult to get like direct line of sights. Feel like an age to figure out the route. Well, that's the thing. That's kind of the thing about this level of the dungeon, is that this is the one that I want to be like the drainer. Because, and I'll give you a peek behind the curtain with this. So the whole thing of this particular dungeon is that oh wait, actually I could do, hold on, let me get rid of this. So the entire first floor is supposed to be, in my mind, it is themed around the heavens. Yeah, these are ones that are just going to be there as blatant obstacles. Nice. I think that's right, yeah. So the thing is like I said, the whole first floor is supposed to be the heavens. It has the stars, and space. It's supposed to be the heavens and space. So you have stars, it's cold, it's dark, and it's silent. And what do you feel with all of that? If you're deep in space, you feel solitude. You feel as if you have been separated from the rest of the world. So it's kind of the idea behind it all. Ooh, I'm gonna mess with the players. No, wait, I actually couldn't do that. Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, so for what it's worth, the actual light beam, here, we'll oh god, I didn't want to do that. So here, we'll I don't think I have a way to just draw on here, but I'll take the wall tool. Reminded me of the orb game from the first. Yeah, it's kind of the idea. So basically the laser's gonna come out, and it's gonna go up to this one, bounce to there, up to this one, over to here, down, across, up, over, here, 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 there, and down. So that is actually the order. Now the thing is that these particular ones that have arms, they can be rotated. So this one, you could rotate it to go like this. This one could either go north or south. This one just goes to there. So that one is just going to be, you know, kind of a dead end. But this one could go left or right. This one over here is going to go like this, and then is just going to go down. I could actually rotate this one just to mess with people, have it either go north or south. Like I said, this one can either go to the north or south. Kind of the same thing with this one. It would just go into a dead wall though. And then once it gets over to here, so, you know, come to here. So this could either go into this wall or it can go over here. This can either go this way or that way. Kind of the same thing with this. It either goes to the south or up to the north. And once you get it to here, these are set up to do it. So that is the general puzzle. It is quite a bit of a challenge, especially since I added like 4 other mirrors that don't do anything. But yeah, I just think that's fun. So, okay. So next up, we have the magic pillar that casts a shadow. So we're gonna not make this one too crazy. It'll fit in this nice little nook here. So let's go ahead and get a nice little 7x9 room. Perfect. Look at that. Nice little cluster of rooms. And with this one, I'm gonna need this and erase. So let's make that, there we go, a nice little pillar. And then we'll have the spot where the lantern can be placed. So, like I said, with this one, there is a spot that the lantern can be placed to illuminate the whole room. Now this, I don't know what Magic G is, but this actually works very well for what I need. Oh, wrong button. So this is kind of the idea of this shadow, is that it it kind of teleporter, huh? Is that it like fills that backspace, but then maybe we won't use those. We use rock walls. We'll just kind of space them up a little. Let's move that out of the way for now. Yeah. There we go. That'll be a lot better. For what it's worth, anybody who wants to listen to this playlist on your own time, there's the link to that. So it's by Relaxation Harmony. Oh, come on. I really just want that to nestle. Oh, there we go. Perfect. All right, so we're going to copy that, paste it. Put it right on top. Let's rotate that. Perfect. There we go. Nice little turnstile design. So let's group all those together. Because I want these all... Nope, did not mean to move it like that. There we go. We're going to group all those. And this is going to go on top. Yeah, so there's that. And like I said, the whole thing with this is that, you know, it's really just that the players have to move that turnstile. It's fairly straightforward. And then I guess the last thing is we just need a boss room. So we'll just do something plain and simple. We'll just have like a, you know, small little, a little like 6x6. That's fine. I just realized, unlike all my other ones, I didn't number these. Oh man. Shoot. All right, hold on. I gotta fix that. That is gonna drive me nuts. Okay, that's fine if I'm just moving that, and I'm going to use this as the basis of where everything needs to move. Cool. Everything else there is good. This is just going to go back to where it was. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, you can move up just a hair. All right, so room 15. $16. I'm just gonna do this here as room 17 through 19. Got room 20. Oh, nope. 21. And 22. There we go. All right, so we got all the rooms. Got them all set up and designed. So now what we'll do is go ahead and actually get these moved up. Now this one I'm going to do off to the right. So kind of over here. So I want these accessible. I will say I'm starting to get to the limits of what Dungeon Draft is like capable of, in a sense. I'm starting to notice that, or not Dungeon Draft, sorry, Dungeon Scrawl. I'm starting to notice there's a lot of times where I'm moving stuff and it doesn't pop in for like a certain amount of time. Are you fucking kidding me? I fucking put that off center. I gotta move all those one space to the right, or a half space to the right. Shit. But yeah, just kind of counting my blessings that I have a decent enough computer that can handle everything that's going on, because it's starting to chug at moments. All right, cool. So obviously our first room, pretty simple. Yeah, like right there. Whew. All right, so that we're just gonna attach straight to the outside. And actually, I didn't realize that puts everything on that half square. You know what? I'm just gonna I'm gonna shrink this down just a hair. Let's go and cut that off. Let's go and cut that off. Cut that off. There we go. Yeah, I didn't really realize that I had that extra half space. Guess, oh, because I have it like not perfectly connected over there, that's why. Okay, you know what, hold on. There we go. Let's leave it like that. Perfect. All right, we got this little guy, which is just going to go in the dead center. Got this one. is going to be a direct connected hallway. That was kind of the intention that I had with this one. One thing that I did want to avoid with this section is essentially like meandering hallways, because while I am trying to make this, you know, more difficult, I think that would just be mean to have like various meandering hallways. It's funny, but kind of mean. All right, so with this one, I'm probably going to end up rotating it. Well, I don't necessarily know if I want it to go up. So if I do it this way, we can have the mirror room. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna do that. And then the doors. So there's gonna be a door there. There's gonna be a door there. There'll be a door right there, and a door right there to get out. Door from one room to the next, door from this room to that, and a door out. Now with this room, we're gonna have one hallway. Yep, we're gonna have one hallway. Because I kind of have to have this one set up this way. Okay, so let's grab all this. We're gonna group it. Rotate it 90. Set it proper like. Nice. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Don't need that. Oh, you know what? Actually, no. We don't need a meandering hallway. We'll just connect that to that. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll just have it connect to there. Because then the players will be able to players will just be able to explore around. It'll kind of give them an idea as they're walking through that chamber of the mirrors and everything. So that's actually a pretty good option to let them see the room once through. So that's good. So they'll come in there. I'd worry it's somehow not work. Yeah, I mean, it's... Nah, being able to move everything in big chunks is nice. All right. So... right up here is going to be the door. And we're just going to grab both of these while we're at it. I need this one to kind of rotate like that, but no. No, it can go that way. Yeah. All right, grabbing both of those was probably not the best option. Oh well. All right, so that's gonna go right there. No, it's gonna have to go like that then. Yeah, it'll have to go like that. Because the thing about this one is that this final room is supposed to essentially be like the door leading into it. So right like that. So that's what we'll need to do. We'll need to rotate these. There we go. So we'll add a door there. Add a door there. And we'll add a small hallway right there. Very nice. So there we go. We have our sector of darkness. I'm kind of still gonna erase these. There, a little bit cleaner. Probably a better way I could have done it, but honestly, I'm okay with it. I think it's pretty nice. It's got this nice big puzzle area, you know, kind of focusing on the light and the dark aspects of stuff. So I'm happy with it. So let's go ahead and grab some numbers now. So we got room number 15. Any minute now. Oh my god, I was like, what just happened? Whew. That scared me. Okay, nope. Thank you. All right, 16. So 16 is kind of this whole cluster. Love to focus on creating maps. Honestly, I don't think you actually have to describe the maps very well. I think it's honestly, that's actually kind of what I feel like was almost something that felt like it was biting me in the ass the first time that I was doing these. Because I kind of felt like by giving them like more robust descriptions, I was more locking myself into certain things. So there is something to be said about having more simplistic ideas. You know, that's honestly why I'm trying to focus on writing my rooms the way that they are now, because I love like my first section. Like, I think this looks great. You know, it has all these nice little features with it and everything, and you know, it's very well, you know, put together. But like, this one was practically featureless other than the rough walls, which I had a lot of fun with. And this one, other than this room, most of the stuff doesn't really have a lot of things in it. Now, I will say one of the rooms in my next section is going to have a lot, because it has a bunch of furniture in it. But yeah, honestly, I think like more sticking to, or not more sticking to, but sticking more to a simple description and then kind of just elaborating when you actually go to sit down and run it or do it, it is, and honestly, I feel like I'm leaning more into that. You know, whereas before I had, you know, I keep looking at it, but I had the Aquarius room, my third room, a hexagonal room with niches on 3 walls. A statue of an old man carrying a water pitcher stands in the center of the room. So it's like, cool, that gives a very specific description of what that room looks like. I could have just rewritten that as a room with a statue of an old man in the center with a water pitcher and 3 jugs against the walls. Would have served the same purpose. I'm not digging myself into a hole with that. And then also, when the time comes, if I need to adjust the rooms for anything, I have that freedom. So that's why I've been trying to do stuff that's more describing what like the main thing of the room is, and going from there. So like, you know, room 15, it's basically featureless because it's just a room that steals light. I personally don't know what the puzzle in room 16 is. Like, I don't know how I would craft a puzzle that makes like players have to shine a light through something. Like, technically I could, if we were all sitting around a table, I could take like pieces of paper and actually like take a word search and cut out circles, and you have to like, you know, find out, line it up and find out what words it makes. Stuff like that would be really cool, but it's a lot harder to do that in digital format. But yeah, I think there's ways around that. So, but yeah, that's it for this week's. There we go. There's Calendyr's mega dungeon so far. 3 sectors: stars, cold, and darkness. And we'll probably put solitude and silence over here, because like I said at the beginning, we are looking at solitude and silence for next session. Oh yeah, like I wish I could do that in person, like, and I probably could do it. I probably could do it something online, but it would be a lot more challenging. But yeah, just as a touch for what we're going to be working on next week. So silence and solitude. The first room, a large circular room with 6 doors around its edge. There's 6 doors that dot to the perimeter. One has 5 slots where tiles can be placed. Each door will only allow 1 player to enter, then immediately shut behind them. To leave the rooms, players will need to trace a sigil onto the door. The clues of the sigils we found in other rooms. So the first room is a room with a large basin of some harmful liquid with a clue at the bottom. Don't know what that liquid is. Could be lava, could be acid, could really be anything. But basically, there is a crank on the side of the basin that will, when you crank it, fills it with more liquid. So every time you crank it, it starts to fill up more, and will subsequently make it hurt worse when you reach your arm into it. Not only that, but if you crank it the whole way to where it's spilling out into the room, you're now standing in whatever this is. But actually, that's not necessarily the truth. The whole puzzle behind this first one is that it is a Pythagorean cup. So I'm not going to spoil what that is. If you want to go and look that up, see what that is. Check out the Pythagorean cup, because his cup does not runneth over. And room 25, a room with various pieces of furniture and a large mirror. So a large mirror adorns the back wall of the room, showing a different state of the room than what the player is currently in. The player must rearrange the furnishings in order to reveal clues and symbols painted on the walls. And so once the room is placed exactly in the mirror, the player's mirrored self will walk to a drawer and show where the tile is hidden. The clues and symbols that need to be found will have to be moved in such a way that like there's essentially 3 states the room can be in. There's the starting state, there's the state that will give the clues for the sigil, and then the final state, which is in the mirror, will show where the tile is. No stink bug. So yeah, we'll work on that next week. But that is that's gonna be it for me tonight. I know this was kind of a quick and short one, but honestly, I'm very tired, and I'm probably gonna go and get some sleep after this. Just gonna make sure that I save this. But yeah, like I said, check out, for those of you curious, check out Wally DM. He is the one that I got some of these puzzles from. He's really good with designing puzzles, has his own book that's on Drive Through RPG that you can pick up. It's actually about $5, but it has a bunch of different puzzles in it. And then if you want to listen to this music on your own, there is a link to that as well. So thank you so much for joining me. As always, I very much appreciate it. But I will see you guys next week, and well, I guess I'll see you later this week if you're joining any of my other streams. But yeah, big last thing, keep fighting the good fight out there, everyone. Show Hasbro that D&D is our game. They are just the stewards of it. This is our community. They're welcome to be in it as long as they play by the rules, but if they don't, well, they can go shove off. So, all right, you folks have a good night, and I will see you, well, I'll see you on Thursday for the first 15. Peace out.